Hello, dear audience. Welcome to Moksha Media's audio book, Veerashaiva, an analytical study by Moksha Hiremat. The book contains 11 chapters. They are 1. An introduction, 2. Shaiva streams, 3. Veerashaivas of Pre-Sharanas movement, 4. The Sharanas movement, 5. Veerashaivism after Sharanas movement, 6. Modern period 1700 to 1900 AD, 7. The seed of controversy, 8. 64 commandments or conducts, 9th. Carrying the legacy forward, 10. An introduction to Siddhanta Shikhamani, 11. Siddhanta Shikhamani. In our last reading, I stopped at in the last reading of introduction, I stopped at Nyaya school of thought. So from that point onwards, I continue the reading. The fourth school of thought is Vaisheshika. The head of this school of thought is Kanada. He believes in atoms which create the world in general. Atom is everything, no question regarding the existence of God. It usually belongs to a kind of atheism. 5. Purvamimamsa. The followers of Purvamimamsa believe in the Vedas. These are basis for all things happened in the world. The Vedas are forever and apaurushaya. What is said and explained in the Vedas should be followed without questioning it. The yagas and yajnas should be performed periodically without any fail. These are responsible for all happenings in the life of a man. These are endless circles. It gives too much importance to the implementation of yajnas and yagas, which depict the karma kanda of the Vedas. 6th one, Uttaramimamsa or Vedanta. Badarayana is the defender of this school of thought. There are mainly 3 different opinions of Vedanta. All of them accept Vedas as apaurushaya. These are the basis of everything. Shankara, Madhva and Ramanuja give 3 different outlooks. They are accidentally and immediately belong to southern parts of India, that is Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu respectively. These 3 opinions play a prominent role in the 3 corners of the said states. We can see a kind of freedom in defending and explaining our different thoughts in these schools of thoughts. There is no compulsion of what we have to accept, what others said. We can or cannot. Here an individual's freedom is given to others. We can identify one common line among these schools of thoughts. Atma and Paramatma are there beyond our body. Knowledge is important to have the vision of Atma and Paramatma. In addition to knowledge, good behavior and morality are also very important. All the schools of thoughts originated in India accept this commonly. Truth, non-violence, helping others in need, kindness and love pervade in these schools of thoughts. These have values in society. Ashramas. There are 4 ashramas, that is, the stages of life. They are Brahmacharya, bachelorship, Grihastha, household life, Vanaprastha, a life of detachment, and sannyasa, a life of renunciation. Generally, everyone passes these stages of life. These are usually divided into a period of 25 years each. That is, a person can lead a life of 100 years to be a proper man. Whether one lives for 100 years or not, but concept should be appreciated. That is, Shatayushi Bhava. In the first stage of life, that is of bachelorship, one has to study and acquire knowledge, that too, an essential knowledge. It should prepare him to lead the life of happiness. It should make him to understand past, present, and future times properly. Accordingly, one has to his her life. In the second stage of one's life, one has to marry. The girl to be married should have virtuous qualities. She should understand the family status and lead life in the family. She is to deliver the issues and feed them. She should make them the perfect members of the family and of the society. In Grihastha Ashrama, the husband and wife should lead the pleasurable life. They should make other family members also to be happy. The third stage of life is Vanaprastha, that is, a life of detachment. One has to pass his responsibilities to his sons. He should retire from his busy schedule and make his sons to bear household responsibilities and risks. He has to simply work as a manager, guiding the family members here and there. He can live the life of happiness with his wife, children, and grandchildren. He would be a child just like his grandchildren. He has to completely disengage with family responsibilities and should preside over the family functions. The sannyasa, a life of renunciation or a monk's life, is the last stage of life. He has to give up all his attachments. He should detach himself from family affairs and contacts. One has to travel to sacred places and have a darshan of gods and goddesses. He should meditate and have bliss. One should have to spend his life in meditation, prayer, and have a blessing and bliss. He should probably think of other world more than this one. The feelings and thoughts of heaven and hell, bond and liberation, the life after death, or the end of the life play a prominent role in the last stage of life. Passing all these stages of life, one has to complete the life circle. Whether he will complete a life circle or not, that would be a different matter. But the beautiful and noble concept and thought of one's life stages should be appreciated. We can feel the beauty and the taste of life properly. Only complete and notable minds and noble minds can think of it. Purusharthas, that is, values. The Purusharthas of Indian concept is equivalent to Western concept of value. That is what Professor M. Iriana opined. There are 4 types of Purusharthas. They are virtues, dharma, artha, material well-beingness, desire or lust, that is kama, and emancipation, that is moksha. Each one has different activities to be performed in a society. A person should cultivate virtuous qualities. They should not harm others in the society. They should make a man a noble and decent one. Virginity is the part and parcel of it. Material well-being, that is artha, is the part of a civilized society. It enhances a standard of life in a society. It improves one's physique and activities concerned to it. It leads to socio-economic and political life of the society. But in turn, they are to shape the well-beingness of man and woman. By that, they can change the social behavior of the society towards goodness. Desire or lust, that is kama, is the part and parcel of especially the animate beings. It is also cause for the sufferings and destruction. It will spoil the relationship between man and woman. It will affect the generations to come. So it should be satisfied in such a way that should not harm the relationship and generations. It should be framed and formed in such a way that should not affect generations badly, but it should create a healthy atmosphere in social relationship. A biological, social, and moral order can only perform it. Moksha or the emancipation is the last stage of Purusharthas. After performing and experiencing all these stages step by step, one should try to have a moksha. The emancipation from the circle of birth and death should be achieved. Then only the life circle will be completed and have an end. Generally, the concept of Purusharthas and the system of ashramam are complementary to each other. They are the two faces of a currency, runas, that is obligations. There are three runas or obligations. They are Rushiruna, Daivaruna, and Pitruruna. They are called Runatrayas. The rishis are our friends, philosophers, and guides. Theirs is the role in the development of society and universe. So we have to fulfill Rishi Runas. One can do it by performing meditation and learning the things and understanding the universe in deep. One should devote his life for learning. Second one is Daivaruna or spiritual obligation. One has to fulfill it and satiate it. One can satiate it by worshipping God, goddesses, and nature. Meditation and finance should be performed. Daivaruna should not be neglected. Then the third one is Pitruruna or parental obligation. The obligation is towards the father and mother. We have been here due to them. They are the source of our origin. So Pitruruna should be fulfilled. How? It can be done by delivering children and continuing the generation with health and wealth and virtues. In the above three runas or obligations, it is only said about one's scholarly life, finance and issues. But there is a depth of social obligation. Mahabharat finds it out and adds another two runas to the above three runas. They are Nararuna and Atiti Runa. The individual's obligation for the society and the traveler Atiti is also important. An individual should be obligated for societal expectations. One should perform something which is vital to the society. One should look for after the Atiti or the traveler not as an alien but one among them. One should provide the Atiti everything the guest is in need of virtual things. One should consider Atiti as Devo Bhava. Hindu Dharma. The root word Dri is from Sanskrit. It means life, it means lift above, support, and develop. The word is used 56 times in Rig Veda. So many persons use the word dharma as equivalent to the English word religion. But the scholars feel that the word religion is not equivalent to dharma. The scholarly poet Rabindranath Tagore opines that religion is not equivalent of dharma. Dharma expresses something more than the religion. The word dharma is broader than religion. We have narrowed the meaning of dharma as making it equivalent to religion. In the Karma Kanda part of the Vedas, It is used as a set of already decided ideas, norms, and behaviors. But in Jnanakanda part of the Vedas, that is Upanishads, apply a broader meaning to the word dharma. It means truth. As per Taittiriya Upanishad, speak the truth, lead the life of dharma. Satyam vada dharmam chara. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad opines, carry me forward, carry me towards truth from untruth, towards light from darkness, towards immorality from morality. Om asathoma sadgamaya, tamasoma dhotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Jains opine that non-violence is the real religion, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. So in all these contexts, we see the word dharma is used broadly, but not in the sense of narrowness. Most of the scholars opine that there is no Hindu dharma as such. It refers only to conglomerate ideas and practices of sects and challenges. The sects or mutts act as religion in the Indian context. There are many sects such as Shaiva, Kashmiri Shaiva, Veerashaiva, Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava, Agoris, Pasupatis, devotion to different gods and goddesses, that is Bhakti Panthas, and etc. All of them think that each community sect or mutt and pantha itself is a religion for them. As in the process of history, all of them begin to claim that this is the dharma, but they feel a depth of something in their claims when they compare this with that of religions come from across the border of Sindhu or Hindu province. In other religions such as Islam and Christianity, there is a sacred religious head each, such as Muhammad Paigambar and Jesus Christ. In the process of it, they begin to create their own sacred religious heads. At that point, we see the appearance of Buddha, Mahavira, Shankara, Renuka, Basava, Ramanuja, and Madhva and others. Actually, this concept is alien to Indian culture and soil. But to oppose the across the border of the so-called religions and to retain the identity of the sect and its culture, they continue the process of naming or creating a leader who is a politician or a social reformer but not a spiritual one. Even today, in reality, a king or queen or a powerful political leader or a social reformer should be obedient and yield to the spiritual head and get his or her advice for the development of a social system. The spiritual head is a symbol of the spirit pervades beyond the ages. This is the spirit of Indian culture and originated out of this fertile soil. But instead of this, Indians begin to adopt an un-Indian concept and culture. Knowingly or unknowingly, luckily or unluckily, fortunately or unfortunately, directly or indirectly, Indians yield to the cunning tactics of across the border of influence and to the political power mongers of its product. There are two cultures in the world, China and India. These two cultures have the history of 4,000 years. Indian culture faced the attacks of Persians, Greeks, Scythians, Huns, Turks, Portuguese, French, and British. It is not only faced these attackers, but digested them and also taken them into its fold. India has not attacked any nation. It has spread its culture in Ceylon, Burma, Sumatra, Malaya, Bali, China, and Japan through its arts, literature, religion, and spirituality without any force. It has its indelible effect and influence on these countries. It has its spiritual victory over others, but not an aggressive victory. So India doesn't have an aggressive culture. The name Bharata given to India as an influence of foreign attackers. To reply them and to defend ourselves, we bring the name of Bharata to maintain the stream. But who are Bharatas? We have three Bharatas, that is persons. They are Ramayana Bharata, Jain's Bharata, Dushyanta and Shakuntala's Bharata. These three Bharatas have their own specialities. Ramayana's Bharata was the cousin brother of Rama and the son of Dasharatha's third wife, Kaikeyi. Dasharatha ordered Rama to go to the forest. As he promised to Kaikeyi, Rama, the crown prince of Ayodhya, obeyed the order of his father. In the absence of Rama, Bharata took the reign of kingdom by offering prayer to Rama's Paduke, that is the sacred footwear. By this, he showed the respect to his elder brother and obeyed the order of his father without any fuss. Bharata did not want power and prosperity, but a sheer obedience to elderly and aged one. So he becomes a role model. In Jain's Bharata, he was a king. He defeated all the kings. Then he went towards his younger brother Bahubali, who ruled over the small part of the province. Bharata told him to subdue his kingdom or fight against him. Bahubali resisted the ego of his elder brother Bharata. He fought against Bharata and defeated him in the duel fight. But Bahubali, even a victor, renounced his kingdom and gave it to Bharata and went to the forest to do the penance. Then onwards, Bharata felt his fault and became a benevolent king. So it is another kind of model. In Shakuntala's story, there was also Bharata. He was a lust and love's product. Once, Apsara came down to earth. She was sent from God's world to divert the attention of Rishi Vishwamitra from his penance or particular gain. Apsara was successful in spoiling the penance of Vishwamitra. When he opened his eyes, he saw the beautiful Apsara and fell in love with her, and they got union. As a result of this, she gave birth to a female child. After some time, she was disappeared from the earth as she was a Devakanya, God's maid. Vishwamitra also left the scene. Then Rishi Karnava found the child in the forest and pestered her in his ashrama, calling her as Shakuntala. She fed well in the ashrama. She was grown up as a beautiful maid. Once Dushyanta, a king, came to the forest to hunt the wild animals. He was thirsty as he was tired. He saw an ashrama and went there. He asked the ashramites for the water. Shakuntala gave him the water. He was attracted for her beauty and fell in love with her. They were also unioned together. As a result, she was carrying a babe. After some time, Dushyanta left her, giving her a ring as a token of love. Meanwhile, Shakuntala was obsessed with the love of Dushyanta. At that point, Durvasa Muni came to the ashrama. He was very angry as his call was not replied. So he cursed Shakuntala to be forgotten by the person whom she loved. In between, Kanva Rishi came back to ashrama. He understood what happened there. He requested Durvasa Muni to take back the curse as he convinced him the condition and the fate of Shakuntala. But the curse could not be taken back. Instead, he could minimize the curse. He told Kanva Rishi that the curse could be eliminated when her lover could see the token of their love. Then Kanva Rishi sent her with ashramites to Dushyanta. On the way, Shakuntala got down into the river to wash her hands and face. While washing, the ring she wore on the finger was slipped into the water. She did not remember it She went to Dushanta and told him everything. But Dushanta could not remember it. He was forgotten all those happenings. He sent her out. One day a fisherman caught a fish which swallowed a ring. He went to the king and gave him the ring. Then Dushanta remembered that it was the ring given to Shakuntala at ashrama. He blamed himself for sending Shakuntala out. Then he brought her back and unioned happily with the birth of son Bharata. So Bharata was a romantic love product of Dushanta and Shakuntala. Then he became a king. This is a combination of lust, love, versus curse, and finance, etc., which is prevailed in the attackers across the land. This is other model. These three models are relevant to this land and lots of the foreign religious and political aggressors. It is a moral lesson that Indians taught them, by which they have built the Indian culture eye up. It is the strategy and tactical approach Indians did to foreign religions by bringing the name of Bharata to the mainstream. By this, they also brought unity among different sects of India against the fight of religions across the border. So, using the name of Bharata to the Indus land is an inevitable historical fact, but not the cultural fact of India. Using proper name to social advancement in Indian community is improper to Indian culture and its philosophy. In India, community is the first and then the individual, which is vice versa in foreign religions and political aggressors. So, Hindu is culturally inbuilt name more than the Bharata, which is an example of Hindu culture and strategic and tactical name. Hindu's culture and religion is the true amalgamation of all castes, communities, sects, and movements for the development and achievement of Indians in the land of India. Nowadays, most of across the border religions observe this notion. We see uniformity in thoughts and actions from east to west and south to north. Even diversification in dress, eating, and mating, and in languages. And so, Veerashaivism is not an exception to this. To be continued.